We've had many people come to our health retreat with sinus problems. And one lady said, well, every time I start blowing out green, I go to the doctor and he gives me antibiotics. Do you know what that is? Do you know what that green is? It's a knock. What do the antibiotics do? Silence it. So if they come to Misty Mountain Health Retreat, I discover, wow, these people have got a gluten and a dairy intolerance, causing all that mucus. And then that mucus sits there for a while. What comes along and starts eating it? The yeast and the fungus. So what you've got to do to clean up sinus is stop what's causing it. We get our guests to start sniffing golden seal powder. Cleans it all out. Start giving the body the right conditions and it will heal. Morning sickness is a magnesium deficiency. And some women suffer for months and months. So all they need to do is get magnesium.
If you are a daily viewer of this channel, you already know who Dr. Barbara O'Neill is and why she is so famous. She is an advocate of natural remedies for any type of sickness, even if it's cancer. According to her, we are really what we eat. First, it's our diet that makes us sick. Then, our medicines do the rest with their side effects, making room for further and different types of sickness. And it goes on and on like an endless loop. That's why she suggests some emergency protocols or instant home remedies that work like magic without any side effects. In the next couple of minutes, we are going to know about that in this video. According to Dr. O'Neill, whenever you get sick, the first 24 hours of it is the most crucial.
Drugs never heal. They never heal. And I know with my mum, when she first started to get her pains in her hand, she went to the doctor who gave her some anti-inflammatories. And then as it got worse, then he put her on prednisones and cortisones. It's important to listen to the first whisper.
The pharmaceutical industry and traditional treatments are more like toxins to your health than healers. We are not saying this, but Dr. Barbara O'Neill is. With a background in nursing and midwifery, she has a deep understanding of the human body. In her discussions, she often refers to principles from the book Ministry of Healing by Ellen G. White, advocating that true healing comes from nature, not from drugs. She supports only natural remedies and lifestyle changes to stay healthy and fight illness. Unlike conventional treatments that only address symptoms, natural healing targets the root causes of health problems. This includes healthier eating, regular exercise, and using herbal medicines. Dr. O'Neill believes in the safety and effectiveness of natural remedies. Many pharmaceutical drugs have serious side effects, while natural methods are safer and more effective long-term.
What do those statin drugs do? Or Crestor, Lipitor, they're probably two of the most popular. What do? They block the pathway in the liver that the liver uses to make cholesterol, so it stops making so much cholesterol. But that same pathway that the liver uses to make cholesterol, it uses to make coenzyme Q10. What's coenzyme Q10? It's your heart protective enzyme. So a person can go on these medications in the hope that they're going to reduce their risk of heart disease. They can actually increase it. And what are the side effects of cholesterol-lowering medication? Memory loss, dementia, Alzheimer's, muscle wasting. You want to build those muscles, not waste them.
As a result, she suggests managing high blood pressure with diet changes and herbal treatments rather than just medication. Even though medication works well sometimes, conventional treatment methods often focus solely on suppressing symptoms rather than addressing the root cause of health issues. This approach leads to temporary relief, but could potentially hinder long-term recovery by not supporting the body's natural healing mechanisms. Apart from that, another ugly truth of the pharmaceutical industry is prioritizing profit over patients' well-being. These pharma companies push unnecessary prescriptions and focus on treatments that keep people dependent rather than curing diseases.
If you are always tired, take oxygen pills. If you have acne-filled skin, eat more beef. If your joints always hurt, eat a spoonful of turmeric powder. But if all this sounds like you, it may actually be a sign that your body organs are damaged and not functioning properly.
But that's not all. Dr. O'Neill also stresses the importance of prevention in healthcare. She believes that many chronic diseases can be prevented only through healthy lifestyle choices, reducing the need for medications.
How you can be your own doctor. You see, I believe everyone should be their own doctor, because only you know how you feel, only you know what you've been through, only you know how your body responds or reacts to different things. And I'm always listening to see what bodies do.
And depending on your body's response sometimes, Dr. O'Neill comes up with a unique suggestion. Not to take medicines, not even to take natural cures, but simply to intake nothing. Yes, it's called fasting. Dr. Barbara O'Neill suggests a key to fasting is entering ketosis, where the body burns fat for energy. This happens around 18 hours into a fast promoting cellular repair and detoxification. Basically, fasting triggers healing responses in the body by allowing it to rely on stored energy when food is absent. This stored energy comes from glucose in muscles and fat cells. Historically used for religious and healing purposes, fasting frees up energy normally used for digestion, aiding in healing. That's the reason why Dr. O'Neill advises against immediate fasting when sick. Instead, she suggests that the body needs nutrients to fight off illness effectively. It's important to stay hydrated and nourished with easily digestible foods to support the immune system during recovery. Fasting might further weaken the body's defenses when it needs strength the most. But if the sickness lasts longer, you can do fasting, because during fasting, the body's 4 elimination organs, the skin, urine, lungs, and colon, work alongside the liver to detoxify. When we stop eating, the body breaks down fat stores, releasing stored toxins. The liver detoxifies these toxins in 3 phases. Firstly, the liver converts fat-soluble toxins into more toxic metabolites, a necessary step in detoxification. Next, these metabolites are then made water-soluble by combining with amino acids, aided by antioxidants like beta-carotene and vitamin C and E found in our antioxidant-rich juices. Finally, the liver releases water-soluble metabolites through sweat, urine, and the colon. Fats, found in coconut cream and almond milk in our protein drinks, keep cells supple during detox. So, throughout fasting, nutritional support is crucial. We provide protein powder, especially on day 2 when detox is most active, to supply amino acids. Organic fruits and vegetables, along with vitamin B supplements 3 times a day, further support detoxification. Along with that remains the minerals from Celtic salt, which we will talk about in a while. Plus, it also helps the body detoxify and heal from fat-soluble toxins accumulated over time. Historical practices like Jesus fasting for 40 days highlight fasting's enduring importance for health.
My suggestion is try a fast 1 day or 2 days a week. It will stimulate brain-derived neurotrophic factor, causing new brain cells to be developed, no matter what the age. Let's have a look at the requirements for the release of brain-derived neurotrophic factor, a fast.
Fasting periods can vary from 1 to 2 days, or following Ellen White's approach in the Ministry of Healing, involving 2 meals a day.
Be another type of fast that Ellen White defines in the Ministry of Healing, and that is having 2 meals a day. For myself, I have breakfast at 7 o'clock, like a king. I have lunch at usually about 1:30, like a queen. And often I do not eat again till breakfast the next day. That's an 18-hour fast. And that is such an easy fast because when we would be the most hungriest, we are asleep.
To sustain fasting, it's important to eat high-fiber foods like legumes in every meal.
What did I have for breakfast this morning? For breakfast I had raspberries, I had almonds, I had an orange. There's lots of fibre there, lots of minerals too. And then I had some rye toast with olive oil. I had crushed garlic on top of that. I said to my husband in the email, I don't think you would want to kiss me at the moment. I'm very, very strong of garlic. So I had garlic. Then I had avocado on top of that, and then I had some red lentils. The avocado and the red lentils on top of the garlic and the olive oil and the rye toast underneath helped to sandwich it. So my breakfast this morning was high in these. I had it at 7 and I know I will not have any hunger till 1 o'clock. And the only way you can go the distance is to have high fibre. And all your plants are high in fibre. Generous amounts of protein. I myself eat legumes every meal. For lunch yesterday I think they were cannelloni beans, we had squash and carrots baked, we had a big salad, we had some dressings with that. Oh, and we had steamed broccoli. You see, that meal, everything had fibre, generous amounts of protein, and for dessert we had some walnuts. So legumes and nuts. Be careful not to overdo the nuts. And seeds, oh, that's what I also had, pumpkin seeds.
So, this kind of eating supports an 18-hour fast and helps release BDNF, or brain-derived neurotrophic factor, which is a protein that plays a crucial role in promoting the growth, maintenance, and survival of neurons, nerve cells, in the brain. Low-carb diets are effective for this, focusing on legumes and nuts, seeds, instead of grains to reduce carbs. With that, getting to bed early, getting sunlight, high-intensity interval training, HIIT, and most importantly, drinking Celtic salt water for hydration help release BDNF. That's why you should always take care of one simple thing in your daily life: drinking sufficient water.
And with the adults, how many adults get up in the morning, first thing they have is, say, orange juice and a cup of coffee? Isn't that the traditional breakfast fluids? And what are they doing when they have their orange juice and their cup of coffee? They're thirsty, they're trying to hydrate, but neither will hydrate them. How clean would your body be if you washed it in orange juice? How clean would your body be if you washed it in a cup of coffee? Water and water alone will supply what the body needs.
As she said, it just explains why. Another name for water is life. She promotes water as a key element of health, believing proper hydration can cure various ailments.
It's by Dr. Batman Geheldage, we'll call him Dr. B, an Iranian doctor. And his story is very interesting. He was in prison, political prisoner, and all the patients, not patients, but the residents in the jail would come to him because he's the doctor. And he had nothing. So he just kept giving everyone a glass of water. And, they were happy because he actually did something. And every 15 minutes, he'd give them another glass of water. And so he'd come and see them, give them another glass of water. And to him, it was a bit of, what else can I do? But then he noticed something. They all were getting better. But we need to have at least 2 litres of pure water a day.
But the reality is, many individuals often fail to drink even that bare minimum of water daily. As a result, they face insufficient hydration at the cellular level. Since sufficient water cannot reach our cells, our body fails to maintain a proper balance of minerals, particularly sodium. Naturally, sustainability gets interrupted and we fall sick. For example, dehydration is a common cause of headaches, and drinking water can help alleviate them.
First glass, the migraine went to a headache, and after the second glass, the headache went to a dull ache, and after the third glass, he had no headache. Now, isn't it nice if you can resolve every headache just with water?
Hydration also significantly impacts physical performance. When dehydrated, fatigue increases and motivation decreases. This is the reason some people feel dizzy, pain in the head, and extreme fatigue after drinking alcohol, because alcohol dehydrates your body. And even mild dehydration can impair cognitive function and is linked to increased headaches, anxiety, and fatigue. On the other hand, proper hydration can relieve headaches, improve gut health, and reduce constipation by aiding bowel movements with essential minerals like magnesium and sodium. So, sufficient water intake is crucial, particularly during the time of illness. It helps the body flush toxins and regulate temperature. According to her, it's better to drink a small amount of water each time you drink, but it should be frequently with small intervals of time. That works better than drinking 1 liter of water at once. This subtle timing for drinking water actually matters. For example, she advises against drinking water right before meals, as it can dilute stomach acid. But consuming water before bed prevents dehydration, and hydrating upon waking jumpstarts metabolism and boosts energy levels, which is why Dr. O'Neill also suggests drinking water when you wake up instead of having a coffee or juice.
So I said to him, please don't drink a whole glass of water. Please just have half a glass of water. A few minutes later, another half glass of water. A few minutes later, let it little by little by little go in.
She also drinks half a glass of water upon waking, and another half before getting dressed, spreading out the water intake throughout the day with a pinch of salt each time. The principle is like watering a plant. Just as rain is absorbed gradually, the body remains better hydrated with steady, moderate water intake, even if you consume a lot of water overall. The widely accepted advice of drinking 8 glasses of water per day has been around for decades. This notion likely originated from a 1945 recommendation by the Food and Nutrition Board, which suggested about 2.5 liters of water daily. However, the crucial follow-up statement in that recommendation often goes unnoticed. Most of this quantity is contained in prepared food. This detail significantly alters the perception of how much water you need to drink. If your diet includes plenty of fresh vegetables and fruits, which have high water content, your overall water intake from these foods will naturally contribute to your hydration needs. However, unfortunately, modern dietary habits show a concerning trend. Fewer people are opting for water, instead favoring sugary sodas and beverages that do not effectively hydrate the body. These alternatives, where you can find artificial sugars and chemicals, are implicated in the rise of diseases, such as type 2 diabetes. In its natural state, seawater boasts the highest concentration of sodium among 92 minerals, primarily manifesting as sodium chloride, table salt, crystals upon evaporation. However, commercially processed table salt, treated with bleaching agents and anti-caking additives like aluminum, lacks the natural mineral balance found in seawater. You see, this imbalance is enough to invite health risks and contribute to various health issues.
Sea salt contains how many minerals? 2. And these are such harsh minerals that if you were to inject them straight into the blood, the person would die. And if you mix a teaspoon of table salt with a cup of water, that amount, and fill up a whole tank and put the fish from the sea into that solution, they all die. So it's actually a dangerous salt. It's actually a poison. And when it goes into the body thinks it's getting all of those minerals, but it's not. It's just getting 2. And it causes an imbalance in and out of the cell.
According to Dr. Barbara O'Neill, hydration is not merely about water intake, but also about maintaining a harmonious mineral balance within the body. That's why our bodies naturally need salt, especially when ill, to maintain essential electrolyte balance. While conventional medicine often limits salt intake, Dr. O'Neill advocates its importance for overall health. She suggests opting for natural, unrefined salts, such as Celtic Sea salt, to enhance mineral absorption. But what we often use at our home is table salt, which is pretty much useless. So, are there healthier alternatives to traditional table salt? Dr. O'Neill suggests potassium. Only potassium holds the highest concentration of minerals inside cells, while sodium predominates outside. The subtle balance between these ions is regulated by cell membranes through sodium-potassium pumps.
So the highest concentration of mineral inside the cell is potassium. The highest concentration outside the cell is sodium. And there are sodium-potassium pumps that are in the membrane around the cell. And these sodium-potassium pumps are constantly going like this, maintaining the balance in and out of the cell. But when someone has high amounts of table salt, have you noticed people put it on and they don't even taste the food? That's because the table salt, the sodium chloride, is so harsh that it kills the taste buds. So no wonder they have to put so much on.
Not only that, but excessive consumption of table salt, coupled with insufficient intake of potassium-rich foods like fruits and vegetables, can also raise sodium levels. As a result, it causes cells to swell and contributes to conditions such as hypertension. On the contrary, Dr. Lilingre, a French physician, advocates for Celtic salt. Celtic salt is known for its blend of 82 naturally occurring minerals. Harvested by hand from sea sources, Celtic salt preserves its mineral composition, unlike industrially refined table salt. Celtic salt, enriched with various forms of magnesium like magnesium chloride, is our best friend because of its ability to improve hydration by helping cells absorb water more effectively. There's also Himalayan salt, boasting around 75 minerals, which presents another favorable alternative. Not only that, Dr. O'Neill believes salt helps the body fight off infection, promotes healing, and gives you energy. Because salt creates a mineral-rich environment that supports effective immune cell function. It plays a crucial role in maintaining electrical charges within cells, which are essential for cell communication and combating infections. Additionally, salt may facilitate fluid movement, potentially enhancing the distribution of healing compounds throughout the body. Even in normal days, if you find yourself feeling tired or hungry mid-morning, try a combination of salt and water for a quick boost. Particularly find something rich in magnesium, like Celtic salt.
That it's a watery, hungry molecule. When you put that Celtic salt in your mouth and you crunch it and you release those minerals, the mucous membranes in your mouth absorb the minerals and it's taken to the cell. Then you have your water. The magnesium pulls the water inside the cell. It's the quickest way to hydrate a body. So when someone says they don't drink water because they've got to go to the bathroom all day, I'd like to suggest it's because they're missing the mineralised salts. And if someone says, but I drink water, my legs swell, all that water is extracellular, not intracellular. Something else happens. When that water is pulled inside the cell, there's a little motor inside the cell membrane, and when the water rushes through the membrane, it causes that little motor to spin, which gives us a unit of energy. Isn't it incredible what they know about the inside workings of the cell? So when everyone at work is going to have a cigarette outside and a cup of coffee to get some energy, all you have to do is find a tree, breathe in and out through your nose, have the Celtic salt, the glass of water, and you'll go in charged. Maybe take your shoes off and walk around the tree a few times.
So, that's the secret recipe to provide an energy boost at the cellular level. But not only water, or necessary salts, you'd be surprised to know Dr. Barbara O'Neill's next claim. According to her, nature also provides you with one of the best antibiotics ever. And we call that garlic. Garlic is a remarkably powerful antibiotic, approximately 6 times stronger than tetracycline.
A lot of people say to me, I eat garlic all the time, and that's great. I think we all eat garlic all the time. But if you want to use it as an antibiotic, 4 raw cloves a day. Not everyone can take that, and if you can't take it, maybe you look at an alternative like your olive leaf extract, which is another excellent antibiotic.
To use it in your diet, you can grate it into hot soup to soften its intense flavor. If you want to use it as a remedy, like for fighting infections or more, you can simply crush or chop fresh garlic for the strongest impact. Mix it in hot water or create a flu bomb with other ingredients. Then consume 3 times a day for the best results against infections. According to Dr. O'Neill, fresh garlic is the best choice to get the maximum effect, as its extracts may have reduced potency. Allicin, a key compound in garlic, is activated through chopping or crushing. To maximize allicin content, consume garlic raw or shortly after chopping it. But if raw garlic is too strong for your taste, try grating it finely and mixing it with olive oil, then spooning it onto a baked potato for a delicious and nutritious option.
What about a baby? You can't give that to a baby. And as you saw in my lecture last night, you also can't give a baby food. So what can you do? You can find this sliced garlic and you can wrap it on the bottom of the baby's foot. Now this is a very large piece of garlic, so maybe with a piece of garlic that big you only need 1. And what I would do to my babies, I'd get a little piece of cloth like this, and I would put the garlic on the cloth and then wrap the cloth over it and then bind that to the bottom of their feet and then put their little sock or little shoe or bootie on that. If you put a layer of cloth between the baby's skin and the garlic, it will not blister. But if you don't, you will form a big blister on the bottom of the baby's foot, and the problem then is you can't put any more garlic on till the blister heals.
But we are not over yet. Another potent remedy is the flu bomb, a concoction effective against bronchitis, asthma, flu, sinus issues, pneumonia, and headaches. To prepare it, just crush some garlic, finely grate ginger, about 1/4 teaspoon, add a drop of eucalyptus or tea tree oil, squeeze the juice of 1 lemon, or half if the lemon is large, and mix in about a teaspoon of honey with a 1/3 cup of hot water. Drink this mixture 3 times a day during illness, typically for 3 days, to experience its benefits.
Pepper's a remarkable herb. In the book Back to Eden by Jethro Kloss, he devotes half a page to every other herb, but 10 pages to cayenne pepper. Cayenne pepper moves blood. It is a stimulant, but not a nervous system stimulant. It's not an irritant. It's a stimulant to the blood, and whenever you move blood, you move healing into that area. Internally, it can relieve a sore throat. It might tingle at first, but when that tingling settles down, you'll find relief, because cayenne pepper also has an analgesic effect. It's a natural painkiller. Cayenne pepper can be used for an upset stomach. When it gets into the blood, it thins the blood, it opens the capillaries, it strengthens the arterial wall. About 1/4 teaspoon in a little cup of water, or maybe 1/3 cup of water just before the meal. It can also be used externally, and to use it externally, you will make...
As Dr. O'Neill says, garlic is not only better, but also 6 times more potent than any traditional antibiotics. Because the problem with conventional antibiotics is that they indiscriminately affect gut bacteria, which disrupts the gut balance for no reason, making your gut vulnerable. It's a huge side effect. On the contrary, garlic specifically targets harmful bacteria while supporting a healthy gut environment. No wonder why this is the best natural remedy compared to artificial antibiotics. And speaking of remarkable natural remedies, charcoal is another one. Activated charcoal, as highlighted by Dr. O'Neill, is a potent detoxifier capable of absorbing toxins and poisons up to 150 times its weight. This property makes it beneficial in situations such as accidental poisoning or diarrhea, as she recommends using charcoal only for detox, but use it carefully because it absorbs a lot. Take it separate from meds and with lots of water to stay hydrated.
Charcoal is a remarkable substance because charcoal can absorb up to, I think it's the figures are about 150 times its own weight in poison. Now, charcoal is unique in that it not only absorbs poison, it neutralizes poison. That's a very important point. So you can use it internally for any poisoning, or you can use it internally for diarrhea. And a lot of people will travel with charcoal now when they go to Asia. You can actually get charcoal tablets. You can use charcoal externally for bee stings, wasp bites, spider bites, snake bites. But when you mix charcoal with water, it's like mixing dirt with water. So I'm going to mix it because I'm all for no mess, and charcoal's very messy.
Beyond internal use, Dr. O'Neill also advocates for using a charcoal poultice externally. This can provide potential pain relief for insect bites, stings, or sore eyes. When mixed with water, charcoal forms a paste that resembles mud. While some prefer to mix it with ground flax, Dr. O'Neill finds it more palatable to use psyllium. An equal amount of psyllium and charcoal, say 2 teaspoons each, creates a versatile paste. This mixture can be applied to sore eyes, bee stings, and various other types of stings, providing almost immediate pain relief. Just don't forget to mix the ingredients with water until you achieve a smooth consistency. But now we are going to talk about a very common illness, fever, which happens to everyone, every year, no matter the age. We are habituated to take it casually now, and just take paracetamol to get rid of it. But what Dr. O'Neill said might startle you.
And 3 things to remember with the fever: it's your friend. When all the rubbish is burnt up, the fire will go out, and water will put the fire out. If the baby has a fever, you can put the baby in a tepid bath, and the tepid water will draw the heat out of the body. Or you can wrap your baby in a wrung-out wet sheet and then a little woolly blanket and cuddle your baby. They won't like the wet sheet, but once you've got the little woolly blanket on, they're comfortable. And that cold wet sheets pulls that extra heat out of the body and into the wet sheet. They might fall asleep in it, that's all right. Or you might take it off within 10 minutes, and that's a very good way just to get that temperature down. The only time a baby will be in trouble with a fever is if the baby's dehydrated. So make sure the baby's having lots of breast milk, lots of water.
Dr. Barbara O'Neill views a fever as a crucial part of the body's natural defense mechanism. According to her, when your body temperature rises, it helps to boost the production of white blood cells. These cells are essential for defending your body against harmful invaders like bacteria and viruses. So, in other words, fever is the body's natural defense mechanism against infection. By creating a hostile environment, fevers inhibit the growth of bacteria and viruses. Suppressing a fever could potentially hinder the body's ability to effectively combat illness. Additionally, she explains that a fever increases your metabolic rate. This means that your body's internal processes speed up, enabling it to fight the infection more effectively.
So if a parent keeps giving that to the child, yes, it's doing liver damage in that developing liver, but praise God, the liver's a recoverable organ for those who have done it in ignorance. But as soon as the drug wears off, the fever comes back. So this fever can linger on for 4 or 5 days, and yet if you let it run its course and just put the fire out with water, just keep the fire keep coming down, but after an hour, the fever comes up, we'll put them back in the bath, put them back in the shower. More ice to suck on water. I used to let my babies have free reign of the breast when they had fever. I didn't mind if they fed every half hour, every hour.
Right.
Because I wanted them to keep well hydrated. The only time the brain doesn't like a fever is if it's dehydrated. So very important to keep that water up. Just remember my husband and the fire that gets out of control. He gets the hose, not the Panadol. Water puts the fire out. And so if you let the fire run its course by just cooling the body every hour, every half hour, how often, the fever's usually gone in a couple of days. Whereas if you keep giving the Panadol or the ibuprofen, the fever can sometimes keep coming back for a whole week. Let it run its course. God put it there for a reason.
So, it's actually good to allow low-grade fevers to run their course unless they cause discomfort. It's important to monitor feverish children for signs of dehydration and irritability. Some comfort measures such as lukewarm baths and lightweight clothing are preferable to medication in managing fever symptoms. In addition to that, sufficient hydration with fluids rich in electrolytes is necessary during fever. Plus, you should be taking proper rest, allowing the body to allocate energy toward combating illness effectively. And take light, easily digestible meals can help maintain energy levels during recovery. So, let's get this straight. We should recognize fever as a sign that our body is working hard to heal itself, unless and until there's a very high fever, like more than 103 degrees Fahrenheit in adults, or a fever persists for more than 3 days. There's no need to consult any doctor. But beware of any fever accompanied by a rash or severe headache. Those may not be normal fever. For those things, you need to consult with a doctor immediately. Otherwise, normal fever is a powerful tool that the body uses to enhance its immune response. But there's another important factor that acts as the biggest healer for any living creature, including us. It's not only good for our brain, but also for overall health. I'm talking about a good night's sleep.
So sleep is a big one. A huge deception is we don't need a lot of sleep. And Margaret Thatcher, brilliant mind. If you've ever looked at her history, as she was training as a young woman, top the class, brilliant mind. And we know as a prime minister, you have to have a good brain for that. And to see her brain deteriorate so badly. It's not the odd day you might have 5 hours just as well, because when you travel like I do, sometimes that happens. It's not the odd day you do it, and it's not the odd day you do it. It's what you do every day that determines the health status of your body.
Sleep is extremely important to have a better life and good health. So, sleep is non-negotiable, especially during recovery. While we sleep, our bodies repair tissues, strengthen the immune system, and consolidate memories. Insufficient sleep can hinder healing and increase susceptibility to illness. Still, most people can't get good sleep just because of stress or late-night sleeping.
So what happens if someone goes to bed at midnight? Not only have they cut down by almost half their melatonin, serotonin, agonine, basotosin, and epithalamin, but they've also lost some of their cleaning. And what can also happen is they can wake up in the morning and they've still got memory from the day before in their short-term memory unit because there wasn't enough time to get it into the rapid eye movement. Dr. Matthew Walker and his associates, they did a lot of research with this. And they got 20 students. And 10 of the students had 6 hours sleep a night. And 10 of the students had 8 hours sleep a night. And they found after 3 months, the ones on 8 hours sleep a night retained almost double what the 6 hours sleep a night. You see, they lost some of that consolidation, that confirmation of the things that they'd learnt through the day.
Barbara O'Neill describes insomnia as a widespread pandemic, exploring the various reasons why people struggle with sleep and offering practical solutions for achieving a restful night. She identifies the pineal gland, a tiny structure at the base of the brain, as a key player in sleep regulation. When exposed to light at night, this gland fails to release sleep-inducing hormones such as melatonin, which are crucial for falling and staying asleep. Dehydration is another culprit behind sleepless nights. Drinking most of your water before lunch and breakfast to minimize nighttime trips to the bathroom. Additionally, the disruptive impact of electronic devices and the blue light emitted from screens can suppress melatonin production. So, to optimize your sleep, you need to maintain a consistent sleep schedule, even when sick, to improve sleep regulation. Establishing a relaxing bedtime routine can help signal to your body that it's time to unwind and prepare for sleep. It's advisable to avoid stimulants such as caffeine and sugary drinks before bed, as they can disrupt sleep quality. Most importantly, everything needs a perfect environment, and sleep is no exception. Dr. O'Neill suggests creating a cool, dark, and quiet bedroom environment for optimal sleep during recovery. Minimizing screen time before bed is advised, and also make sure your bed is comfortable enough to contribute to a restful night's sleep.
The earlier you go to bed, the more likely you are to fall into a deep sleep. The other hormone that's released is epithalamin. And epithalamin is a hormone that increases learning capacity. God designed our brain to be learning new things right up until the day we die. Many people's brains deteriorate because they stop learning new things. We should ever learn new things. So epithalamin increases learning capacity. So to be able to understand and retain the new things that you're learning, we need to go to bed early. You ask any teacher, they can tell the children that had a late night because they just don't get it. They don't retain. Epithalamin increases learning capacity, and epithalamin slows down aging. Everyone over the age of 25 likes that one. So these are the hormones that are released in these hours every night.
So, are you ready to take charge of your health? Have you tried any of these natural remedies before? Share your experiences in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more health tips and updates. And most importantly, if you are already sick for a couple of days and thinking of taking medicines, don't. Just click on this video to know what to do instead of using medicines.